plaque says Harrison. Doesn't look very opulent, so I guess it doesn't belong to anyone important.
What are you talking about? It's a huge-ass tomb.
This just goes to show you can't take it with you, so you might as well spend it all on a giant tomb.
Yeah, might as well. Look at those, tacky fucking columns.
Good day to you, officer.
Good day, sir. How may I be of assistance?
How may I be of assistance? Nice day for a walk. I need to get into that tomb.
Would you mind letting me in the tomb, please?
Afraid I can't do that, sir. This tomb is currently part of a police investigation and ain't available for visits until further notice.
It's my dear departed Aunt Hester's birthday. I think I saw someone being mugged at the front entrance.
I think I saw someone being mugged at the front entrance.
Nice try, sir, but that's clearly a bunch of bull. You're just trying to get me to step away so you can go inside the tomb.
What?
What?
No, I would never do such a thing.
Never.
In any case, there's another officer stationed at the entrance, so if there was somebody being mugged, he'd see it for sure.
Well, at the very least, it's nice to see the department is hiring competent officers who aren't easily fooled.
Yeah, lucky us. It's just the type of officer I need right now.
Good day to you, officer.
Afraid I ain't got time for idle chat, sir. Please, move along.
So I can't get in the tomb.
If only that police officer wasn't guarding the tomb, you could go in there and raid it to your heart's content.
You know, for a disembodied voice in my head, you're not very useful. I remember in Blackwell, at least Joey could blow on things. What do you do? Except nag. Is there anywhere else we haven't explored? Not really. I would like to go back to talk to whatever her name was. Because we went to her secret place, and we discovered that she kind of does some experiments that might incriminate her. Juliet.
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
Andrew.
What can you tell me about your brother?
Andrew, Mama's precious little boy. If you've met him, you pretty much know all you need to. He's had the whole world handed to him on a silver platter. But he's in for a rude awakening someday. Mother can only provide for him for so long.
Oh, I don't know about that. If she leaves him a fortune, then the silver platter just keeps giving.
Do you know anything about ethericity, Miss Montgomery?
You surprised me, Mr. Fordham. I had no idea someone of your profession would know or care about something like that.
I've found that it pays to be open-minded.
To answer your question, yes, I am familiar with the theory of ethericity. In fact, it's recently become a focus of my studies. Despite what the newspapers have been reporting, it's already possible to access it in small quantities from the air around us.
Have you conducted any experiments?
No, my research has been purely theoretical. I don't have the means to do anything practical, I'm afraid.
Deceiver, dissembler, her trousers are alight. I can't understand why Juliet might not want to make her research public, though.
Yeah, you have been doing practical experiments.
Miss Montgomery, please don't lie to me. I know you've been conducting experiments with ethericity. I've seen the room you're renting on Forest Lane.
What? But how?
I wouldn't be very good at my job if I didn't find these things out.
I wouldn't be very good at my job if I didn't find things out, Miss Montgomery. Now please, drop the act and tell me about your experiments.
Fine. I've been researching etheric effects on living organisms. I'm planning on presenting my discoveries to the board once I make more progress. So far, I've managed to discover that plant growth has accelerated significantly. It's given me quite the advantage in class.
But isn't that cheating?
You have no idea how difficult it's been for me to be taken seriously, Mr. Fordham. No matter how hard I tried, my work wasn't valued on its own merits by my peers or professors. I fought hard to get where I am. I wasn't about to lose all that just because some pig-headed idiots didn't think my best was good enough.
That sounds awfully familiar.
What about your notes on the effects of ethericity on animals?
Oh, those aren't complete. I haven't tested the effects on anything larger than flies. Those experiments were mainly to satisfy my curiosity, but they have little to do with my actual research.
Curiosity? Seems like a lot of effort to go to just to answer a question. But then, I never really understood these scientific types.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
You know, I get where she's coming from. She's fighting hard to, make a difference in the world, and it's difficult to be taken seriously, especially in this kind of age. But, yeah, I understand why you don't want to present this publicly, because it might incriminate you in some way or another to your mother. And what happened to her? I think so. I don't remember. Wasn't there something here? Did it just disappear? Huh. Well, we can go and revisit all the locations that we've been through before. Let's go to the coffee house and talk to our police contact again. I'm having a lot of trouble remembering people's names for some reason. But that's nothing new.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
So I found out some stuff.
I wanted to go over the case with you.
Okay, what have you got?
Madame Dupre's son isn't being very helpful.
Is he refusing to talk?
More like incapable. The family doctor has him pretty well drugged to the gills. I need to find some way to perk him up.
Well, we are in a coffee house.
I have a feeling it will take something a touch more powerful than coffee.
We can try coffee, though. Just like a lot of concentrated coffee. To the heart. Straight to the heart.
I seem to have hit a roadblock. There's an officer posted at Dupre's family tomb, and he won't let me in.
Makes sense. Who's the officer?
I've never seen him before. He's young, has a small scar over his left eye, and a distinct Dixie accent.
Ah, yes, that would be Officer Grant. He's only been with the department for about 2 months. I don't know a lot about him, but he's already got the reputation for being the type of policeman who'd go out of his way to help old ladies cross the street. Typical Southern gentleman, it seems. Perhaps you can use that to your advantage?
What am I gonna do? Dress up as an old lady?
That's enough about the case for now.
Okay,
That's it, I think.
then you'd better get back to it.
I'll get back to it. Can I try and get some coffee?
She's running back and forth at lightning speed.
Nope. No coffee for me. Thanks for the hints, your name, person? God, I'm really terrible at names. How you doing there, Albert? Hanging in there?
Could I ask you some more questions, Mr. Martin?
It's not like I'm going anywhere.
You get it? Hanging? 'Cause he's gonna hang?
Albert, did you hate Madame Dupre?
The woman is cruel, sadistic, and bigoted. When she found out about my relationship with Juliet, she sent me a letter threatening to have me killed if I got near her house or her daughter. So yes, Mr. Fordham, I hated her. But even so, I love her daughter. I wouldn't be so cruel as to take Juliet's mother away from her, even if she hated her too.
I beg your pardon?
Juliet and her mother didn't get along at all. I never asked why, but it was obvious there was something going on.
Intriguing.
That's all for now.
It's kind of clear that they didn't like each other. Casebook. Have no suspects. Question residence of Dupre, so I have to perk up Andrew somehow. I can't go in the tomb for now, but maybe a little bit later. A stimulant, yeah. Distract Officer Grant. Discover the source of Juliet and her mother's rift. Well, I guess I'm gonna go back to Juliet. Tweezers. A useful tool for reaching things too small for human hands to reach, or for plucking those pesky long eyebrow hairs. It's very true. Oh yeah, I need to talk to Andrew about this fee thing with Joshua. Or I'll kill you myself. Well, this is pretty much evidence that Juliet's mother was kind of a crotchety old racist bag.
He's watching you like a hawk.
Like a hawk. Juliet, we're not done here.
She's busy. Best not to bother her until we have something to ask her.
What are you talking about? I have something to ask her. What better person to ask about the rift between her and her mother than her? Ah, boy. I think it's time to make a concoction to wake up Andrew, and I remember there were some vigor pills. Hey, Madame Dupre, how you doing?
Her eyes are glazed over, and she's got a vacant, expressionless stare. She seems completely oblivious to her surroundings. If we didn't know she'd been buried alive, I'd say she was just exhibiting the typical symptoms of your average rich person. This quack hasn't got anything more for us to learn right now.
Alright, time to mess with some medicine. Yo, Andrew, you still chillin'?
As amusing as it is to chat with this oddball, I think we've exhausted his usefulness at the moment.
Alright, time to drug you up real good.
Polly, want a cracker?
No, thank you. Pieces of 8? Aye, matey.
It's always hilarious thinking that someone, human, had to voice this. It's hilarious.
So long, Birdie.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I kind of really want to take this figurine.
A horrible little porcelain figurine. Madame Dupre didn't strike me as the type to play with dolls.
I don't know, there's something about it. I'm watching you, figurine.
The bottle is empty.
Okay, so we need to make some vigor pills to wake Andrew up.
A gentle reminder that everyone's time is slowly running out. The science of pharmacology. I'm sure it's riveting stuff.
I kind of want to read it to know how to make vigor pills. An empty bottle of pills designed to energize even the laziest of people. Recommended for use by men only. Contains 98% of that. Benzoylmethylecgonine. Okay.
Decadent.
Decadent.
I can only wonder what sort of potions Andrew concocts in this thing.
Vigor pills, most likely. Is that like a cocaine or something?
Is this really the best that medical science has to offer?
Yep. Well, I have taken the bottle. I don't know what to do with it. No idea. Cool. Oh yeah, we got a song here from somewhere, right? I didn't pick it up though. Why didn't I? Masterful.
Oh, dear God, no, please, let's not expose ourselves to that drivel again.
Well, you don't want to read racist poetry again? I should probably take a note of this. Well, I don't really know what to do with this harpsichord situation yet. Maybe I can ask the doctor where I can get more vigor pills. Because I have the bottle in my hand. Oops, you're not the doctor, but I can talk to you a little bit more.
Stick around. I may have more questions for you later.
Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere.
I don't have any questions right now, but stick around. Yo, doctor.
This quack hasn't got anything more for us to learn right now.
Okay, well, the other person that I think is doctor-like is the voodoo lady person. I still want to know how she would react when I asked her about the statuette that was hidden. And you know what? I think I might do that, but I'm gonna save before, and if I don't like it, I'm gonna reload it, because we can do that.
Welcome back, Mr. Fordham.
I came back for my tea that is probably pretty tepid by now.
She's not gonna be much help right now. That's not to bother her.
Well, it seems that we can't really talk to her about the things that she's hiding.
She's not gonna be much help right now. That's not to bother her.
Never mind then.
Hello, dearest. I have returned.
Hello, Miles. So what's this big case Upton's got you on? Another missing pet?
If only. A Gascon grandame was attacked and almost interred alive.
You mean Madame Dupre? The one whose obituary was in the paper?
The very same.
Goodness, that does sound serious. Tell me if there's anything I can do to help. I know you haven't been feeling your best lately.
You're always a help to me, Addie, though I assure you I have this well in hand.
I certainly hope so.
Oh, Addie, you're always by my side. I love you.
Addie?
Yes, dear?
Ah, here we go. I figured I could use Addie to distract the officer, because I don't particularly look like an old lady trying to cross the street. But she might be able to pull it off. That sounded insulting either way I put it.
Do you know anything about Madame Dupre?
I've read that the Dupreys are one of the few wealthy families that exclusively employ real people to serve. Rather commendable, don't you think?
Yes. It makes it even more baffling why she was attacked. Have you heard any gossip from your clients? Anything about who might have wanted to harm her?
Nothing. She's held in the highest regard by the other Grand Dames. If she had actually died, I'd have expected them to petition her canonization.
I was wondering if you could do me a favor.
What is it?
There's an officer posted in front of Madame Dupre's family tomb, and I need to get a look inside. Could you use your wiles and charm to distract him?
My wiles and charm,
Well, you are irresistible, darling. I'm sure he wouldn't turn away a lady in need. Say you've gotten lost in the cemetery and ask him to show you the way out.
Should we really be tricking a police officer like that?
There's no harm in it, and I won't be but a moment inside. It's in a good cause.
All right, let's go then.
Yeah, Miles and Addie.
Excuse me, officer. I was wondering if you could help me?
What do you want?
I seem to have gotten all turned around. Do you have any idea how to get to the front gate?
My suggestion would be to turn around and head back the way you came.
Yes, I've tried that, but I seem to just be going in circles. Perhaps you could point me in the right direction?
Stop right there. That's quite enough from you.
I beg your pardon?
Don't think I can't tell what your game is. You're trying to lure me away from here and into some alley where your gang of Sambos is gonna rob me blind. Exactly how many of them have you got lying in wait for poor unsuspecting fools you bring them?
Just one.
You racist son of a gun.
And he doesn't appreciate you talking to his wife that way.
You know, Miles, sometimes I forget how absolutely delightful it is to watch you lose your head.
Miles, was that really necessary?
I'm sorry, Addie. You know how I get with people whose minds are full of that rubbish.
Let's just get him out of sight before this lands both of us in jail. That bush over there should work.
We're such a good team.
I have to say, I wasn't expecting assaulting a policeman to be on today's activity list.
It'll be fine. When you're on the force as long as I was, you can pretty much get away with murder.
Well, it's been fun, but I need to take my wiles and charm over to my appointment with Mrs. Lefebvre. I'll see you at home later, dear. Try to stay out of trouble.
I'll try, dearest. What a despicable piece of shit that officer was. Southern gentleman, my ass. Well, isn't this delightful?
That nest is full of eggs. But where's the mother bird?
Perhaps she abandoned it.
Always assuming the worst, aren't you, Miles?
Or he's being realistic.
What a dramatic statue. I'm rather surprised no one has defaced it. Hang on. You don't suppose this is...
This is what? What? Tell me, Bill.
Surprise, surprise! A hidden compartment with a stash of pills inside. Seems Mr. Montgomery has a little business on the side.
Oh yeah, that's right. The note. The note said something about Angel, right? I'll have to check up on that.
I suppose the whole heaven shining down upon the tomb motif is good for the dead people's self-esteem.
I don't know, Bill. Is it doing anything for you? Yeah, I'll look for them in the usual spot under the weeping angel. Got it. We got the pills. We got them, right? Homemade vigor pills. A small amount of stimulant pills handcrafted by Andrew in his home lab.
John Patrick Chesterton, 1740 to 1825. Patriarch, leader, family man. Desmond Chesterton, 1745 to 1810. Strong in life, stronger in death.
Stronger in death? What the... Is that insulting? Because it kind of sounds like it.
Jane Scott Chesterton, 1746 to 1815, ab aeterno. William Arthur Chesterton, 1770 to 1837, gone but never forgotten. Celine, 1823 to 1844, taken too soon, rest ye with the angels. Sarah Chesterton, 1784 to 1812, I told you I was sick.
I told you I was sick.
Sarah Dale Chesterton, 1795 to 1843, a good man, rest in peace.
A good man, not a great man. A good man.
Douglas Chesterton, 1791 to 1840, good riddance.
Wow. Such passive aggressiveness.
This must be what was going to be Madame Dupre's final resting place.
I don't see anything inside.
What, were you expecting a note from her attacker?
No, but I was hoping for some kind of clue at the very least.
Yeah.
These crypts are reserved for future generations of Chestertons to rot in.
There are only 3 left.
Then let's hope the Chestertons aren't opposed to spending eternity cozied up to one another. These crypts are...
There are only 3 left.
Then let's hope that nest is full of...
Perhaps she abandoned it.
Always assuming the worst, aren't you, Miles? I have to admit, it's a fairly ingenious hiding spot.
Yeah. It's a nice hiding spot. Well, I think we got everything from here. We're just gonna have to perk Andrew up a bit. Is it me, or is it getting late in the day? It's kind of a sunset. Oh boy, Albert hasn't got much time left. Can he actually die? I don't know how badly you can screw up your story. Oh, Andrew.
I have some questions for you.
Oh, goody.
Goody. Hey, mutton chops.
You'll never believe what I found in your family's tomb.
Oh? Was it a ghost?
No, it was these vigor pills. You wouldn't happen to know how they got there, would you?
I see you really are good at your job, aren't you, Mr. Fordham?
Look, Andrew, I'm in no mood for games.
I'm willing to overlook your unlawful activities in exchange for your cooperation. Hey, be quiet and take one of these pills.
I'm willing to overlook your unlawful activities in exchange for your cooperation.
Fine, but you have to understand, I'm not exactly feeling myself right now.
I understand perfectly, which is why I need you to take one of these pills.
I suppose one would help. Thank you.
Thank you.
My goodness, I always forget how fast those pills work. My heart is racing. You said you had questions, didn't you? Well, go on, ask them already. We mustn't waste any more time.
Well, that seems to have done the trick. I just hope we haven't doomed him to a heart attack.
Yeah, he seems very awake, though.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
I can't believe anyone would be so cruel as to do what that wretched bastard Martin did to her. Mother is kind and generous, and everyone loves her. She's even good enough to hire actual people to do the housework. Not many wealthy families do that, you know. They just use automated machines or hire servants to operate the manual ones.
How do you typically spend your days, Mr. Montgomery? What are your interests?
I study pharmacology at the university. I'll be graduating next year if all goes well. I just hope Mother has recovered enough by then to understand what's going on. She and Jean were so proud of me when I started university. I'd be so disappointed if she couldn't see me finish.
Who's Jean?
I take it Jean is your stepfather.
He is. Mother married him 5 years after my father died of consumption.
My condolences. Do you have a good relationship with him?
Not terribly. Truth is, I hardly ever see him. In fact, before the funeral, I hadn't seen him at all this month.
Where is he now?
I don't know for certain, but it seems likely he's at his hunting cabin.
His hunting cabin?
Yes, he often goes there. It's his way of leaving polite society behind and spending time with his thoughts. Considering what Mother just went through, well, I would guess that's where he's gone. Although to be honest, I don't know why he's not here with Mother in her time of need.
Why do people run away from their problems instead of facing them? Why, Miles?
Do you know where this cabin is?
Afraid not. I don't share his passions, so I never cared much to accompany him on his outings.
Interesting. And Bill, I know I'm not facing my problems.
What can you tell me about your sister, Juliet?
Juliet, smart as a whip and just as forgiving. She's a fighter, that one. Despite being the only woman in her class, she's managed to rank at the top.
Impressive.
I only wish Mother was more accepting of Juliet going to university. But you don't want to hear about boring family matters, I'm sure.
Oh, but family matters are my favorite. It's always so reassuring to know how much worse off everyone else is.
Always. So is that the rift between Juliet and her mother?
What exactly were the circumstances leading up to your mother's supposed death?
A few days ago, I arrived home from school and found her collapsed on the floor. She wasn't breathing, so I immediately contacted Dr. Fellows. He examined her and pronounced her dead. We were all completely shocked. I was devastated. She'd been in fine health. In fact, she'd just been out riding that morning. You can imagine our surprise at the funeral when she sprang back to life.
What's your relationship with the servants like?
Relationship? I don't have one with them. They're servants. Mother always made it clear that they weren't part of the family, just help. We've only got 2 on staff right now, though, the kitchen girl and the gardener.
Well, that's not very nice of you.
How is it you know Albert Martin?
He works at the greenhouse where my sister Juliet does her research. The 2 of them were involved romantically, and Mother didn't like that at all. I heard their fights. They were ghastly.
What exactly made you suspect he was the one responsible for what happened to your mother?
Well, I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? His mother's a notorious voodoo witch. Those people do all sorts of awful things to our kind. It's all out of spite, you know. He knew Mother disapproved of his relationship with Juliet, so he plotted to get rid of her.
I don't know, man. All this magic voodoo business shouldn't stand up in court.
So, you're running some kind of pill business on the side?
I'm providing a service, Mr. Fordham. Not everyone in this life is as lucky as I am. People pay top crown for luxuries like airship tickets and social club memberships. Medicine should be affordable to all. Dr. Tennyson has a patent on the energy pill formula and thus a monopoly on the market. That means he can charge whatever he wants. Students use these kinds of pills all the time, you know. Academic rigors can be overwhelming, and concentrating can be difficult without help sometimes. I've got the skills and the equipment. If I can replicate the formula, help my fellow students, and sell them at a much more reasonable price, why shouldn't I?
There's the fact that what you're doing is illegal.
Oh, you're starting to sound just like Mother. And just because it's illegal doesn't mean it's immoral. I can think of plenty of examples where the opposite is true.
You're probably the most altruistic person I've met all month.
The sad part is it's true.
Yeah. He's not doing something wrong. He's just providing, Red Bull to everyone. Just stronger, and the guy with the patent is overcharging for something, so... But, yeah, it doesn't seem to be as bad as I thought he would be. Although, you are also kind of a drug dealer.
That's a rather exotic bird you've got.
Yes, Ray is nice when he's quiet. But get him started and it's tough to shut him up.
Who trained him?
I think he already knew some phrases when Mother bought him. She's managed to teach him a few new ones, though.
Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
So, what do we do now? Who do we talk to? The parrot. Yes, let's talk more to the parrot.
Who's a pretty bird?
Ray's a pretty bird.
Polly want a cracker?
No, thank you.
So long, Birdie.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Doctor, may I ask you a few questions?
Please be my guest.
Tell me what you know about Jean Dupre.
I'd rather not speak of him. Madame Dupre does not need to be agitated any further.
I take it you don't look very favorably upon him, then.
I'll just say this. If my wife had been attacked and left for dead, you can be sure I wouldn't leave her side.
What a gentleman. He doesn't even leave women who aren't his wife.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. Do you know where I might find him?
I only wish I did.
Those are all the questions I've got for now.
I hope I answered them adequately.
Oh, maybe the... If I go back to the kitchen... Maybe she knows where Jean Dupre might be. Andrew doesn't care. Do you know where this Jean person is?
Amelie?
Yes? What is it? We mustn't be seen talking.
Why not?
Anything you can tell me about Jean?
I hardly ever see him. Only at dinner. He's scared of Madame, and so he finds any reason to get out of the house and stay away as long as he can.
Scared of her?
Oh, it's true. You should see him when they're in private. Like a shamed puppy that dirtied the carpet.
Interesting.
Really? He's scared of her.
Do you have any idea why Jean is so afraid of Madame Dupre?
If he's seen the same things we have, then yes.
Like what?
What kind of things?
No, I spoke out of turn. Forget I said anything.
Amelie, listen to me. A potentially innocent man's life is on the line. If I don't find out who attacked Madame Dupre, he's as good as dead. So if there are any facts or details you know that I don't, you need to tell me.
I can't.
You can. I'm not with the police. If Madame Dupre did something wrong, I'm not going to look the other way. Trust me, I'm on your side.
Madam beats the servants. I think she even does it for fun. I hear the screams sometimes. I don't know how anyone else in the family doesn't. Maybe they do and just ignore it. I don't know. But if Mr. Dupre knows what she do, it explains why he's so scared of her.
She beats the servants? That means she beats you and the gardener? That's terrible.
Did Madame Dupre ever abuse you?
No, I was lucky, but some of the others weren't.
Like who? I need details, Amelie.
The old gardener, Guy Dumas, and one of the maids, Celine. I saw Madame going after them the most. Don't know what they did to deserve it, but I would see her walk by in a rage, whip in one hand and a book in the other.
A book? What book?
Oh, I don't know. I can't read, so I don't know what it said on the cover. But it's the same color as the stew spice I always use. Don't know what she used it for, but she always had it with her, just before a beating.
Maybe she'd recite them some of her terrible poetry. I'm sure that was torture enough.
Oh yeah. Clue. So we need to look for this book? I don't know, is it a Bible?
Tell me more about Guy and Celine.
They were deeply in love with each other. I used to hear them talk about how they wanted to run away together.
What happened to them?
I don't know. One day they were here, and then one day they weren't.
Do you think Madame Dupre may have done something to them?
I couldn't say for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if she had.
What?
Please, let's not talk about this anymore.
Thank you, Amelie. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Now please, let me get back to work.
Maybe she just didn't want couples in her house. It's like, oh, you're in love. Well, I'm gonna kill you.
Looks like the type of spices you'd use in a stew. Most likely paprika or turmeric. Nice variety of reds and oranges.
So the book is a variety of reds and oranges. Got it.
Did you know Guy Dumas?
The old gardener? Sure, I knew him. We didn't talk very much. He was just a servant after all, but he seemed like a nice man. He stopped coming around about 2 months ago. Too bad, really. He did a good job of keeping the gardens looking nice. The new one is alright, but he just doesn't have that special touch Guy did.
Were you familiar with a servant named Celine?
Yes, I believe she was one of the maids. I didn't talk to her very much. Oh, she quit not so long ago. At least I assume she did. I haven't seen her in about 3 months.
Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
Oh boy. Where are the bodies, Madame Dupre? Where did you hide them? I wonder if she hid her book in the harpsichord. Maybe it's a puzzle that we need to figure out and it'll open a secret compartment.
This is always my favorite part of detective work.
Nothing inside but a bunch of extra doilies.
How disappointing. Maybe you should steal one, just to spite Madame Dupre for not giving us any good clues.
No, Bill.
You're no fun, Miles.
No, Bill. We're not gonna steal doilies. This figurine, there must be something with it, come on.
A horrible little Nice bouquet of roses. Although it would make things much easier if they were Easter lilies.
If only.
I know, Bill. I know. We'll get to that point. Amelie's Stew Spice. I think this is the book, because it's very orange. Choice and Consequence.
Well, this should be the book Amelie mentioned. Well, what have we here?
Wow.
A whip. And it has dried blood on it. How ghastly.
This house is just full of secrets, isn't it?
Yeah, she had a special compartment for her torture devices. What a horrible woman. A blood-stained whip found hidden behind a painting, presumably used to beat her servants. Lovely old lady. So what am I going to do with this bloody whip?
I found this upstairs in Madame Dupre's bedroom. Do you recognize it?
Please take that away, Mr. Fordham. Why would you show it to me?
I'm sorry, I didn't think it would upset you.
Miles. Maybe someday you'll learn how to read basic human emotion.
Thank you, Amelie. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Now please, let me get back to work.
I don't know what I was thinking. I just wanted her to confirm that it was the correct one, even though it's quite obviously the correct one. I'm sorry, Amelie. I did not mean to stress you out. Maybe if I show it to her, she might sketch some emotion.
Her eyes are glazed over. If we didn't know she'd been buried...
Nope.
This quack hasn't got anything more for us to learn right now.
Okay, so I've got a bloody whip. Maybe I can go back to the coffee house and present this. Although, it only incriminates Celine and Guy. Things are not looking good. Can't really say who did it. Everybody kind of has a motive, because she's... Madame Dupre is an awful...
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
Because Madame Dupre is an awful person.
I wanted to go over the case with you.
Okay, what have you got?
I'm having a bit of trouble locating Jean Dupre. I know he has a hunting cabin in the swamp, but it could be anywhere.
The swamp is fairly big. It can be hard to locate just one cabin.
I suppose it would make sense to ask someone in his family about it. That's enough about the case for now.
Okay,
That's it, I think.
then you'd better get back to it.
Well, thanks. You've been a bunch of help. Constance. I'll just ask Juliet about it then.
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
Is there anything you can tell me about your stepfather, Jean?
He's a kind man. I don't really see him too often. He seemed rather upset at Mother's funeral, but I can't help but wonder if he feels the same way as I do about her death.
What do you mean?
Just that I get the distinct impression that he and Mother's marriage isn't as perfect as they'd like it to appear.
I'm starting to sense a trend here.
Your brother told me that Jean enjoys hunting. Do you know where his cabin is?
Yes, it's in Fenton Swamp. I went out there with him a few times, but I didn't really enjoy it. Frankly, the place is rather grotesque. All those stuffed trophies staring at you with their cold, dead eyes. Plants are much nicer to have around. Anyway, if you take the main road through the swamp about 1.5 miles, you'll come upon a small dirt path that goes northeast. Take that until you see a small cabin on the left. That's it.
Thank you for the information, Miss Montgomery. Do you know Guy Dumas?
Yes, he was one of our servants. He used to enjoy reading my books, as well as Andrew's.
When did you see him last?
Just last week. He came by to see me and asked to borrow some books.
Do you know where I might be able to find him?
Not really. I get the impression that he moves around frequently. But I can tell him you're looking for him next time I see him, if you like.
Please do. Although hopefully I'll be able to find him before then.
What about Celine?
Were you friends with Celine, the maid?
Yes, I was quite fond of Celine. She was so sweet and interesting to talk to. One day, she just left the house with no explanation. Mother said it was because she had found work elsewhere. I was terribly saddened. I wish I'd had the chance to say goodbye to her, at least. What's your interest in her?
Oh, I was just curious, that's all. No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
I don't know. She left suddenly, and you haven't seen her since. And Guy hasn't mentioned her. I'm just trying to figure out if Celine is still alive. Aha! Hunting cabin. New location.